When you try your best but you don't succeed.
Bro, you seen those Flyers? In all seriousness, Flyers lose 3-1 against the Montreal Canadiens, a team that you're chasing down to get into the playoffs. You only got to pass them and Columbus and you're in. Good news is Columbus did lose as well last night. The bad news is Carolina, who was in the wild card #1 spot, won and made the gap impossible to catch. So pretty much you make the playoffs at this point. You're playing the Tampa Bay Lightning, which makes me think, do you want to make the playoffs? It's true that anything can happen, but beating Tampa Bay this year in the playoffs, I don't think that can happen. I don't think this team has what it takes. I think you got a lot of guys who are learning right now still. Carter Hart, as good as he's been, that'll be throwing him into the fire against the best team in the league, the best team in like the last 10 years in the NHL. So looks like we're going to be stuck here with like 13th, 14th best odds for #1 overall pick. Kind of a failure of a season if you look at it that way. I mean, you never want to tank. You never want to show other teams your weakness. I think the good things to come from this season so far have been a lot of young guys getting exposure, and they're only going to get better. We've seen Travis Sanheim get better this year. We've seen Phil Myers get exposure. Speaking of Phil Myers, why the heck is this guy getting taken out of the lineup? Okay, he didn't score a goal every game, but I mean, you just beat Pittsburgh with him in the lineup in one of our better defensive games, I think. I know it took us to the wire to get the win, but I would not blame Phil Myers on that. So we're putting in Andrew McDonald. Andrew McDonald in a must-win game when Phil Myers has just been showing that he can play hockey with the big boys. Way to ruin his confidence, but anyway, like I said, this guy starting to show up. That's good news. We got a bunch of other guys, new guys. Hartman's in the lineup now. He's starting to fit in. We built some chemistry, and I think next year you're going to build even more on that. All these young guys are going to be better. We might see Joel Farabee. We might see Jay O'Brien. We might see Morgan Frost. You never know. So next year is an entirely new animal, but this year I think you got to wrap it up. I know we don't like talking about it, but guys, it could happen, but it's going to be... It'll be pretty tough once you make it to the playoffs if you do. So guys, let's like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're going to talk about it down there. You guys are going to blast me for giving up again, but bro, you seen those Flyers?